What's up, y'all? It's Piqi Miqi with Footshop, and today we're going to be listing our top 10 basketball sneaker commercials of all time. Sit back and let's begin. To kick it off, let's start in 1985 with the Air Jordan 1 Christmas commercial. Now, if there's anything that Americans take seriously, it's Christmas and sports. And in this commercial, our homie Santa Claus squares off with Michael Jordan on the court for a one-on-one pickup game. And of course, Jordan's dunking all over Santa, putting his balls in Santa's face, you know, from the fucking foul line. It's really crazy. And we got our favorite Air Jordan 1s in there. Totally classic commercial. Make sure you check that out. Number 2 on our list comes from Converse in 1987, and it's for the Converse Weapons, which were Converse's most successful basketball sneakers besides the Chuck Taylors, of course. And in this commercial, we have several of our favorite NBA stars from the 80s, such as Bird, Magic Johnson, Aguirre, Isaiah Thomas, Kevin McGall, and Bernard King. In the commercial, the basketball players pretty much do the little rap thing where they rap about how cool the Converses are and what they do for them. And at the end, Larry Bird comes in and he's like, yeah, well, you know, I'm the MVP and that's what Converse did for me. Something like that. You know, really old school hip hop vibe going on here. Number 3, let's see. The next one is a really legendary series of commercials featuring the homie Spike Lee and directed by Spike Lee for the Air Jordan brand. And this first one is the Mars Blackmon Air Jordan 3 in 1988. Mars Blackmon, if you don't know, is a fictional character from the movie She's Gotta Have It, which was directed by Spike Lee. And in that movie, Spike plays Mars, who is this kind of typical New York guy who brags about sports and loves the New York Knicks and sneakers and everything revolved around sports. So he plays this character in the commercial, and there he basically talks about how crazy Michael is and how awesome he is. And it's a black and white, really cinematic commercial, but very stylish at the same time. And in the later commercials from this series, he has a classic statement. It goes something like, it's gotta be the shoes, you know. How does Mike do it? It's gotta be the shoes. So we're gonna show you the first one from 1988, but definitely go take a look at the rest of the commercials directed by Spike for Air Jordan. Really dope. Next up, in 1994, we have the Air Jordan 9 popcorn tape. And as you all know, this was probably, I think, the first time Jordan retired. So they kind of did a spoof on that starring Steve Martin, who is a comedian if you don't know. And in this skit, Steve Martin has this kind of talk show where he's explaining some evidence that he found that Michael Jordan was basically retired so that he could. So in the commercial, Jordan goes as a disguised player, and one of the names, well, there's 5 different players. The players are John Kilroy, Motorboat Jones, Fonte Montana, Bentley Ellis, Slim Jenkins, and Calvin Bailey. And when Jordan plays, you know, each disguise, he has a different beard or some glasses, but it's obviously Jordan. So in the video, Steve Martin exposes Jordan's disguises with the popcorn tape and shows that Jordan just wants to keep playing. He just can't stop playing. And the funny thing is that even though Jordan retired, he ended up returning and retiring 3 more times. So it's actually not even a spoof at all. It really happened almost. The cool thing about the spot is that after it aired, Nike introduced 6 new colorways inspired by the popcorn tapes. And let's see them here. Next on our list, we have a really funny commercial for Shaq Attack in 1995. And you know, Shaq is a tall, funny dude. We laugh with him, we laugh at him. In this commercial, Shaq plays against himself. There's 2 teams, and all the teams are full of Shaqs. So, and even at one point, Shaq's like subbing in for another guy, and he's like, yeah, I'll pick the tall, bald head one, you know, which is Shaq. And the commercial is completely absurd. I guess they had to film it many different times at many different points because there's like 20 Shaqs in it. Next up on our list is from Adidas and Kobe Bryant for Adidas signature shoe, the Crazy 8s. This was after Kobe's first 2 years in the NBA, and those first 2 years were kind of tough for Kobe. He wasn't so good during this time, and a lot of people were doubting him. So in the commercial, you see a lot of metaphors for people trying to discourage you while you make your way to the top. And the commercial is really sending those messages and kind of telling Kobe's path towards success in the NBA and becoming a better player. It's a really deep spot. Definitely take a look in the shoes. They're crazy. I guess what they call them, the Crazy 8s. They're kind of alien-like and weird, sci-fi vibe. In the commercial, you can hear these characters yelling snares at Kobe. You know, and at the end of the commercial, Kobe says something like, "Just believe in yourself," you know? Next up, we have one of the most famous basketball commercials of all time, I think. It's in 2001, and it's the Nike basketball Freestyle. The video was directed by Paul Hunter, who was known for directing several hip-hop videos during the late 90s and this time. And in the video, Nike features several known NBA players and street ballers, and they're basically doing like something like a basketball cypher, doing some dribbles, lots of moves and different things, and passing the ball to the next player. And one of the reasons why the video is so memorable is because it features a recreation of the classic Africa Bambaataa and Soul Sonic Force instrumental for the song Planet Rock. And during this time, it was one of those beats. It's like a classic hip hop beat. You can do it on the table at the cafeteria in the lunch. So the commercial kind of sticks in your head, and it was so memorable that even Scary Movie did a spoof of the commercial. I think it was maybe Scary Movie 1 or 2. It was monumental for the time and mixed hip hop culture and NBA culture and street culture in all together. In this commercial, we have 5 of the biggest NBA stars during that time promoting their signature shoes from Adidas. The basketball stars included Kevin Garnett, Tim Duncan, Tracy McGrady, Chauncey Billups, and Gilbert Arenas. Basically, it's a simple commercial promoting their signature shoes, and at the end of the commercial, Adidas says, "Do you believe in 5?" It's kind of corny in my opinion, but during the 2000s, it was more about the effects and the kind of style of the commercial, which made it cool. And it was great to see this many stars in one spot at the same time. Next up, in 2005, Reebok did a spot for Allen Iverson for the Answer 9s. In this commercial, Allen Iverson is in some kind of medical facility, and the commercial is basically showing an x-ray of all his injuries, from his hands to his legs to his back, different joints in his body, and showing how strong he is and how he recovered from these injuries, and basically saying, yeah, Allen's a warrior, and these injuries didn't faze him. He's ready to keep going and keep playing on the court. It has kind of the high-tech vibe that was coming in the early 2000s using those special effects, and you can see that there in the video. These are probably not my favorite sneakers from Reebok and Allen Iverson, but it's Allen Iverson. Also, they introduced Reebok's Valve Pump 2.0 technology here, if you were wondering. And last on our list is a 2008 viral video starring Kobe Bryant jumping over an Aston Martin. In the video, Kobe Bryant's with one of his players, Ronnie Turiev, and they set the camera up and Kobe's like, yo, I'm gonna go jump over this car. He jumps over the car successfully. They rejoice, and at the end of the video, Kobe shouts out the Adidas Hyper Dunks, which are a team model released in 2008. The video was extremely viral. It's still on YouTube till this day, and it was really cool because it's one of the first, it's during the age when viral videos were just coming out, so they kind of used that momentum and released this marketing in that manner, which is pretty dope. To make the video, they obviously connected 2 different scenes or green screen or whatever the hell they do. If you're like me and gullible like me, you probably thought it was real, because I was like bragging to my friends, yo, did you see Kobe jump over the Aston Martin? But of course, I mean, he could probably jump over the Aston Martin. He's got ups. Yeah, he's got ups. So that was our list of the top 10 basketball sneakers of all time. We hope you enjoyed this. Make sure you hit that like, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next time.